Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Spring Football Camp Report. I'm Joe Zagacki coming to you from the Green Tree Practice Field. We're halfway through spring football, and so far the competition has been fierce across the board. The teaching by the coaching staff has been outstanding. A year ago, this team won 10 games. They're not satisfied, and you can see that here during spring football in how hard they're working and competing. We are now joined by University of Miami defensive coordinator Manny Diaz. Coach, we're about halfway through spring football, and it just seems to me as a program, there's great competition out here, and the guys are, even though you won 10 games a year ago, they're determined to do even more, and you see that right here in spring.
There's no doubt our first meeting this spring coming out of recruiting, Coach Rick set the tone with our staff. He said he really wanted this spring to be like our first spring here 2 springs ago. Reestablish everything, don't assume anything in the program, and I think without a doubt, I think this has been our best spring practice since we've been here. The level of competition, the toughness, the physicality that we've been practicing with, the finish on both sides of the ball, that's been really encouraging. Now we have to sustain it, and we got to hold our guys to the standard to bring it. You have 15 spring practices. Almost like if you do everything right, you'll play 15 games in the fall, and you can't afford to let one go. Like we can't afford to let a game go last fall, and our guys are responding to being held to that standard every day.
Let's jump to your side of the ball. Defensively, what has been the emphasis?
Same thing. It's 2016 all over again. A lot of people have a lot of reasons to doubt us, starting with some of the great players that we lost off of last year's team, and it all starts up front. But like we said in 2016, we weren't really a known quantity of what we had up front. So we had a bunch of guys that played hard, played tough, played with a chip on their shoulder, played to a standard of what Miami Hurricane defense should look like. So it's our job as coaches to reestablish that standard for our newer guys, and that's really been exciting. That's really happened. At other spots, we got some experience returning. You've got your linebackers back, you have your safeties back, you got a corner like Michael Jackson back. So what you're trying to do now, you're trying to close the gap between your 2s and your 1s. We told the guys today, we said, look, there were guys that made big-time plays last season that weren't even here last spring. So just because you're a 2 doesn't assume, well, I'm going to back up, I'm not getting my chance. In the fall, there's plenty of chances for everybody, but you have to play to that standard.
About this time a year ago, you're emphasizing turnovers. You ended up with over 30 turnovers, second in the nation, 17 interceptions, top 10 in the nation. Did a great job in yards per play, and of course the turnover chain. Where do you pick up in that department, including the turnover chain?
There you go. Well, there's no chain out here at practice in the spring, but we do still certainly chart turnovers every day. We're going to work on ball disruption and ball security every day. That's a Coach Rick thing, which really where most of the turnovers come from. We're charting that in practice. Our players see how that relates to winning. And really in the bowl game, when we lost a turnover battle and how that really turned what was otherwise a kind of a toss-up close game. So our guys understand that, but they still understand turnovers begins in your run defense, right? If you get someone to stop the run and they have to throw the football, the ball will be in harm's way more often. So we always talk turnovers, we always preach turnovers, but that's never the first thing. The first thing we still have to be physical at the point of attack, stop the run, and then get after the quarterback because that's the guy that turns the ball over more than anybody else.
All right, Coach. Always great to see you. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks.
All right, this is University of Miami defensive coordinator Manny Diaz. About 2 more weeks to go of spring football, including the spring game coming up on Saturday, April the 14th. I'm Joe Zagacki. Thanks for joining us right here on HurricaneSports.com.